Can I call you Rose? Cause you're sweet like
Yeah, off on Friday, so last little time in Bondi. Back in beautiful Bondi. It's a bit of a busy couple days before we leave. We're packing up the entire house and heading to Europe. Heading to the gym. We just had an R&D meeting with an accountant. They help with rebates from the government. Got a very interesting meeting at 10:45 with some potential investors into the business. Then I'm going through Raw Dog Roadmap, helping those guys monetize, build a bit of a base for Tim, Darren and Noah. And then I'm catching up with Alex Eubank this evening to check where he's progressing at filming and redesigning his offer. Should be ready to launch his offer, which is super exciting. But just need to keep on the pump, make sure it's moving in the right direction. And now we're going for a session. Let's get it.
What are you training?
Posterior chain. Training's been a bit all over the shop. We've been super busy, planning to leave. So once that's all sorted, we'll get back into a normal swing of things. Got less than an hour, so I need to pump it out.
If it ain't peace, there's no time. If it's for the money, then nigga, I'm online. If it's for the honey, then honey, I'm on crime.
Something I do when I don't have much time. Just two things. One, reverse pyramid. Less to do with time, but just a great way to train. Start with your heaviest set once you're warmed up. Other one I do is superset. That's really helpful. Obviously reduces the time. Superset upper and lower, or push and pull.
And every day and night, I'm an innocent guy when I...
One final burnout set. Again, starting with your heaviest set. Most people go the other way up, and by the time you get to your heaviest set, you're just so gassed. You want to truly track progressive overload. Do your first set when you're freshest, and then track that weight change week on week. And if you can increase that over time, you're getting stronger, and therefore you'll be building muscle. Well, we should catch up, because I'm going from right now, it's info. And if you think, look at any big... we're getting kicked up. Two very important meetings back to back, and Breezer is, whew, she's hot. She's hot. No, we're leaving, so Breezer is taking a sick day to pack up.
I've been working all morning. All you have to do is focus on work. I'm doing all of it.
Babe, you are doing all of it. Babe's doing the most. Two important meetings. We had an investor meeting or potential investor meeting, getting ourselves shaped up for proper investment and a proper seed round, and just what does the ARR look like? That's annual recurring revenue for the next 3 to 6 months. Then we had a chat with the Raw Dog boys, helping them just look at cash flow properly. They've obviously done really well at building community, but less so on monetizing outside of brand deals. So we're just looking across 3 vectors: events, what that's actually going to make them versus what it costs them in time, merch, and then potentially a digital product offering as well. Definitely going to help them with the digital product and partner there. Merch, they're pretty straightforward, may need a bit of funding, which I'll help them with. And events, we agreed, although it's a big time suck, I had that experience building the Coffee and Chill brand here. It is really good for building everything else that goes off the back of it. So events are typically very time consuming, but the reason big brands like a Nike or whatever it is invest so heavily in them is building community is one of the hardest things, and it's one of the most tangible things behind a brand. And that's what drives everything else, from merch sales to digital products to potential other brand deals, collaborations, partnerships. Doing stuff in person is the hardest, therefore there's less people doing it, but there's so much more to gain. So yeah, it was a good couple meetings, but now we've got to pack up the house.
Bro, I was trying to pee, but my dick was that cold that it was just couldn't come out.
Just got back. Can't really beat a blue sky day in Bondi. We'll run with the boys, like Khan said. And then, off on Friday. So last little time in Bondi, making the most of it.
So, I was listening to your episode with Chris. I'd say the biggest takeaway from me was
so you can only have 16 sales most days. We're in the local coffee shop depot. So good, gonna miss this place. We're literally off tomorrow. Packed up, been a busy morning. Had all the removalists in, ship all our stuff out. We fly out tomorrow. Had a podcast with Ben Handler, which was awesome. I love connecting with people like that. Just same wavelength business-wise. We just chatted, caught up on digital products, info, biz op, all that stuff. So good podcast. Doing a few things, got a few meetings after this, and then surprising Bree tomorrow, who's been a packing legend. So surprising her with a first class flight tomorrow to Singapore, which will be pretty fun. And yeah, getting ready for Singapore. Got a weekend there. Then we go to Turkey. Got 5 days there, and then we're to Tuscany in Italy, which I'm excited for. So it's a good couple of weeks coming up. Just getting prepared for that. Alright, yeah, gotcha. Alrighty, we are heading to Singapore today, which yeah, pretty excited. I used to go to Singapore pretty much every other month for work.
Summer incoming.
There's Euro somewhere on the way. And we have a little surprise for Bree. Jack's got himself a whole row on Scoot. Haven't you, Jack?
I do.
But Bree and I are going on a different flight.
Are we?
We are.
Why are we going?
Well, Jack still got his flight. So Jack's got a
When's
whole
our
row.
flight?
I got Jack the premium Scoot, whole row. Our flight's in a couple more hours. But we can go to the lab. But we're fine with Qantas.
Is that why we're 2A?
That's why we're up front, baby.
Are we on beds?
I don't know, it's first class, so we'll see.
Yay! Whether it's down
We're here. Airport time. Cool. Good to go to Singapore. Let's go.
When do we leave? After summer.
I feel like my view on travel has changed quite a lot the more I do it. Now it's actually sort of worth paying a little bit more for. Obviously first class is a little bit extra, but like at least business, because if I'm not absolutely fucked when I land, I'm way more productive and I'll actually make that money back in the time either that I'm working on the flight or that I'm not recovering from the flight if I cram myself into economy. And also if you book far enough out, although I did book this yesterday, so this is a bad example, if you book far enough out, you can normally get some pretty good deals on the flights. Also leverage your points. I use Amex and just ram up the points. If you get the right flights at the right time and you're flexible, you can get really good deals. This one I actually paid for cash because I booked it yesterday and it was super last minute. Yeah, I think just doing the analysis on like, is it actually worth it? And being absolutely fucked from your flight and being debilitated and not being able to work probably cost me more money in the long run. I guess just a pro and cons list of where you should allocate your money and your funding. You should leverage that for more money. Last time I was in Singapore, I was at a ESG carbon conference and I had to give a talk on just like a carbon markets 101. We used to be a project developer, so yeah, I did that for like 18 months. And yeah, when content started doing well, I just made the decision to go all in, left a really good role there as well. Happy I chose what I chose, but you never know until you know. Catch you soon. Thanks, man. That was an epic call. It was an onboarding with a guy, Finn, and just such an amped up onboarding call. Said some really kind things about like the material, everything we put together. But the first thing we were sort of chatting about, you know, what his content's about, what he's doing, and he sort of said, you know, 2028, I want to be in the Olympics for swimming, or I'm going to be in the Olympics for swimming. And he was talking about, oh yeah, but I don't want to speak about it yet. You know, obviously, I'm not like, it's in the future, so I want to focus on like recovery and this and this and this. And I was like, mate, if you're willing to come on a call and say that in 2028 you're going to be in the LA Olympics for swimming, that is your USP, that is your content strategy. You're not just going to hide that to the corner of what you're doing. You know what your content should be? It should be a countdown backwards from how many days you've got until the LA Olympics. So I said, you know, it's 964 days until I swim in the LA Olympics in 2028. And here's what I'm eating for the day. And here's what I'm training for the day. And here's what I'm doing for the day. And straight away, when you say, I'm gonna be in the 2028 Olympics, I know that you're swimming at an Olympic level. I suddenly value his opinion because he's put a reference point for the level of ability and competency he has in a given field. And why that's so important in content is it drives authority. Now he's gonna be documenting his journey, but it's documenting it to the highest level of swimming performance. If he just documented it and he talked about recovery or talked about nutrition uncontextualized, it's not at the same level of authority. I'm not bought in as much. And that's what's really important to understand, is that if you can drive authority, then you've got to double down on that. And the most successful content creators are highly convicted. So if you can have that conviction, you can have that self-belief that you are going to achieve the things that you set out to do, and you're willing to speak them into existence, as Conor McGregor would say, then do it and make your content strategy around that, because people buy into conviction. Alright, just finished up this morning. Best way to start the morning, particularly on a Sunday, is get a little sweat on. Hotel gym, so making do with what we can. Gonna go get some breakfast. It's always a buffet breakfast, so I feel like every hotel just has buffet breakfast, so you gotta have a lot of discipline, select the right things. And then we're gonna go train with a couple of the Amplify boys, Terrace and Terrace. One of the terraces gym and another terrace is coming. So super excited to meet both of them. The gym's like 5 minutes walk around the corner. I think we're gonna hit more of an upper body session. But yeah, it's brekkie time. Let's do it. We've got the whole crew here. Which is nice. Family that trains together stays together. Hey Jackie. Alright, we've got 6 eggs fried, some smoked salmon, a little wedge of lemon, and then we got some watermelon, dragon fruit, and melon, and a banana. And we'll have some black coffee as well. And we're gonna train in like an hour 10. So we eat this pretty quick, let it digest. Launching on Alex's course. So just setting everything up now so all the back end's ready. And then we go live Tuesday, which has been a bit of a sprint to get it all ready. But pretty excited for that. About to go hit a session at, let me get this right, Statera Performance, which is the gym of one of the guys who's in Amplify, and then another guy who's in Amplify is coming down as well. This is our first stop post leaving Bondi, although we're literally back home for like a week and a bit. Yeah, this is the beginning of a 3 to 4 month trip. Taking Jack, videographer. It's his first time doing YouTube properly. And not that YouTube drove wanting to go travel. I've actually for the last 3 years always left Bondi during winter. I think if you have the opportunity to be able to move around, to be able to work from anywhere, why not action that? It's that stage of life where no kids, no mortgage, no real like responsibilities. Although mortgage is about to change, but no like massive responsibilities tying me to one place. So being able to travel, I think travel and going overseas, experiencing different cultures, different places is like one of the greatest gifts you could ever have. So being able to do that inspires a lot of the content. It changes your perspective on the world. I think it allows you to connect with more people from overseas rather than just having this one siloed view because it's where you've grown up or where you are at the moment. Go travel the world, go see something different. I think it changes a lot of your perspective on the world as well. With that said, just trying to smack the pipes in Singapore. Singapore pipe session. So we actually all met through Amplify. Both of these boys are inside. Do you want to introduce the gym?
Hi, my name is Terrence. I'm co-founder of the Performance. My IG is Muscle Intelligence. Joined Amplify just 2 weeks ago, so pretty cool to be here.
And I'm Terrence, and I don't own this gym. Yep, Metro Amplify. I've been working with Alfie for quite a while now. It should work, so stay tuned for it.
His ass whipped, so he holding that gat down. His mama think it's my fault, cause he listen to back down. Bobby was a fucking bum, he pumping backs now. He keeps some fresh kicks, white tees and fitted hats now. Uncle Rock a wine, no, we won't put the yak down. Eric had a jump shot, but he's smoking crack now. The lunatics, the Lost Boys, cheek shit is whack now. Country blue trout and crackers got a
Most people think you need to train abs super differently, and like everyone seems to get into their head about ab training. For some reason, everyone turns it into like a circuit, or they chuck it at the end of their workout and want to just like burn, I don't know, doing planks and like twists and all this stuff. Just treat it like any other muscle group. If you can progressive overload on it and just select a couple key compound movements. I reckon if you can do toes to bar and you can do 15 reps unbroken, aim for 3 sets of 15. Like if you just work towards that, you're gonna have super strong abdominal muscles. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to see them unless you're at a low enough body fat, like this man here. At the end of the day, like training is like any other muscle group. I don't know why people get in their head about it and want to do these like crazy circuit, burning, twists, all that stuff. Like you wouldn't do the same if you were trying to grow your chest. You'd go and bench. If you want to grow your legs, you go and squat. If you want to grow your back, you'd do pull-ups or rows. Like pick a compound movement, get stronger at it, progressively overload, if that's reps, if that's tempo, if that's weight, whatever it is, just to progressively build week on week.
Alright, really, really good to see you.
Yeah, likewise, man. catching up with Evan tonight, who's another one of my really good friends. He runs a business called Zenith Education. They're basically tutoring high school to go into graduate. They started like brick and mortar. He was a tutor himself, and then he's grown it into a business. He's about to exit for 70 million, and super like ADHD and really entertaining. We're gonna go to the Treetop Walk, but we're gonna get some dinner. Go to the Treetop Walk, which is in Marina Bay, and then we're gonna go and do a class with Evan. So yeah, be a fun evening.
Yeah, so basically I spent 2 years building this like online learning platform. What it does is basically we took the entire Singapore curriculum, put it online, and then it was very like data driven. So we collect all the data, send a report card to the parents, tell the parents what kind of homework the child should be doing in order to get better. So I had a very large team, teachers, engineers, product managers, like building everything. I think people always have this misconception that if you have the best product, if you have the best marketing, you win. But it's actually about, you need the connections, you need people to open the door for you, especially if you're trying to do like international expansion. Yeah, if you try to enter the market without knowing the right people, I wouldn't even say it's hard, I'll say it's impossible. Yeah, so actually a lot of advice that a lot of my friends who run venture capital firms give right now is, don't need to raise at too high of a valuation, raise at a modest valuation, give your employees more upside, don't try to set too high expectations. At the end of the day, actually, I think what's more important is retaining your own equity.
Round two. We made it to Istanbul. This is our first start. Technically, Istanbul is between the border of Asia and Europe. So this is our first start of like European trip. We're in Istanbul for 2 days, and then we go to Cappadocia, where we're going to go do the hot air ballooning, back to Istanbul, and then we fly to Bologna, Tuscany, Dolomites, Rome, Kilimanjaro, Spain. That's the plan thus far. For now, we're going to enjoy a bit of Europe, and yeah, we're going to try and make the balance work. Right now, Zidane and James are here. Zidane's sick. Hey, you're going to see it all in the next vlog. Cut to the next vlog.
I'm now having my third espresso, guys, and it's 5:30 in the fucking morning, cunt. Fix your day. What you doing?
Fucking psycho or porn star. Let's get some undies on.
Alright, guys. It's time to fucking run. Now, I'm gonna go put my shoes on. I'm gonna run the streets of Istanbul like this. Let's go.